All right, today we are here by popular demand of one friend to do an unboxing of a belated birthday present to myself. I've been wanting to take this whole vlogging thing a little bit further, and I've been using the GoPro, which we're filming on right here, the Hero 7, and it's been phenomenal. I love the stabilization. I love the portability. It's been great. But I wanted to have something else in my arsenal that would help me create even cooler and more unique content. Not unique in the sense that it's not been done before, but for my own stuff that I create. So with that said, proud to introduce the new Sony ZV-1. I've been looking online for hours over the past several days, trying to figure out what camera makes sense to me. This one was the winner. It was really between this and I think there was a Canon that I wanted as well. But one of the first things you'll realize is it's tiny. I haven't opened it yet, but the box it came in is really small. In addition to that, Sony did also include a 65 gig SD card and a travel battery pack, which originally when I bought this, I thought it would only have one battery, and a lot of reviews was talking about the battery life being really crappy because it is a point and shoot camera. But I didn't realize this battery, or the travel battery kit, includes an extra battery. So I've got 2 other batteries on the way, so I'll have 4 batteries, which should be plenty. Now the reason why I wanted to get the ZV-1 is A, I've already mentioned that it's a small portable camera, so it's going to be great for travel, and B, it shoots in 4K just like the GoPro, but it also uses a fixed lens that has the capability of shooting at f1.8. Now that is something my GoPro does not have the capability of. The GoPro is also a fixed lens, and that is just a fixed focal length. So basically what that means is everything you see, so anything in the background, me, this, all of it is in focus, which is great for those wide angle shots and wanting to capture everything, but not necessarily the case if you're trying to get some of those up close, shallow depth of field shots where you've got that nice blurred background, or what we would call bokeh. This has that capability in a small package. Now, price-wise, it was extremely expensive, in my opinion. This thing alone, I think in the US, cost $800, I want to say, just for a point-and-shoot camera. That alone costs more than my DSLR that I have back home. I have a Canon DSLR with interchangeable lenses, and I'm pretty sure the kit itself that included the kit lens cost less than $800. But thankfully, I'm in Singapore. The exchange rate is favorable, so I was able to get this for 1,000 Singapore dollars, which is about 715 US. And on top of that, they included the SD card, like I said, and the travel kit charger. They also said that by end of June, they're planning to increase the price. I was planning on holding off on actually purchasing this because there's really no use at this point. I'm not traveling anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, I could have been without, but I know the price is going to go up and I didn't want to wait. So might as well just jump the gun now. So let's actually take a look at what's inside. I haven't actually opened it, but I took the tape off so it'd be easier to do this. We've got a lot of paper here, which we can probably do without because I'm sure all of this is online. More paper. Okay, here we go. So, looks like we've got our cable. This is one thing that I don't know if I'm as happy with, but they use micro USB. Every single one of my device, including this GoPro, uses USB-C. My Google Pixel, my laptop, everything charges with USB-C, which has been really convenient for travel. But now this just means I have an extra cable that I need to carry because it doesn't use USB-C. That's totally fine. Looks like we've got what we call a dead cat. I learned this while watching all the other footage of reviewing this camera, but they include what's called a dead cat. Essentially, this is what you put on a mic to prevent wind noise coming through. We also have the tiny battery. You can probably get about an hour, 15 to 2 hours max shooting with this. More on the lower end when you're shooting in high def 4K, but I probably won't even be shooting in 4K, to be honest. Most of the content I create is gonna be on 1080p. Okay, on to the camera. This thing is really small. Holy moly. It's a little heavier than the GoPro, obviously. It's slightly bigger as well, but it feels pretty sturdy. We've got the screen in the back, which also should, yep, flip out. And the idea of having that is now I can just easily record myself and have a display to see what I'm actually looking at or what it's focusing on. You can also cover display, which is nice, so it kind of protects it. This is the fixed lens. It should be a 24mm to 70mm with an f1.8 to a 2.8. So that is a great aperture for getting those really good shots where you have a specific subject in focus and then blurring out everything else. We also have the mic on top, so this little area is the mic. And I believe if we do this, this should be, yep, this should be the hot shoe where you can then actually attach. So then again, this covers the mic. So if you're recording in windy conditions, it should remove sort of that wind noise that you typically hear. Cool. So they specifically designed this camera to be for video content rather than just like still images. And you can see that by looking up at the top, you've only got a few buttons, and the biggest button on this is the record button. So again, that makes it easier, kind of like the GoPro where you just hit the button to record, hit it to stop. In the back, you will also see, if we can turn it on. We can't turn it on because the battery's not in. Hang on. All right, here we go. I fired it up. Looks like we've got a few different modes you can shoot in, which is great. There's a lot of customization in this thing, which is also another big reason why I wanted this, even though it is a point and shoot. You can actually see here that the lens is really not that big at all. I'm gonna have a play around with this and then maybe shoot a few shots with this and we'll take a look. One of my favorite things about setting up a new camera is going through all of these settings. There are 12 pages of settings. There aren't 12 pages. There's an additional 9 pages for movie settings. And I imagine there's more for the others. Here we are, testing it out. Whew, man. Look at that shallow depth of field. There's the defocus mode. Clear. The focus is really quick, so if I even stick my hand out, it's got focus there. There we go. Not bad. All right, we're gonna flip the screen. It's got eye tracking. This is cool. All right, so we've just turned on product showcase mode. So right now, I think it's focused pretty cleanly on me. So if I move around, yeah, it looks good. But if I decide to show you guys this, it focuses right on that. If I move it, look at that focus speed. That is absolutely incredible. Wow. So here's the travel battery pack. It's kind of cool. Reminds me of like one of those AirPod thingies, that thing that holds the actual earbuds and charges them. So this little handy dandy thing actually holds your battery, but in addition to that, you can actually plug it directly into charge. Pretty functional. Original MSRP on something like this was like 60 something bucks, which is pretty expensive. I don't think it'd be worth that, but this was a nice little freebie. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed that little cinematic footage of Chantal cutting a pear. That was pretty much the only time I've been able to use this camera so far. I've had it for a couple weeks now, but later today, which actually it's Chantal's birthday, by the way, I'll be using this for the first time outside, and I'm excited to see what this thing can do. But first impressions, it's a really cool camera. It's very powerful from what I can tell playing around with the settings, and I'm excited to put this to good use on some future content.